Classic. Zaxby's.
For 70 years now, the Orange Grove Center has led the way in teaching Chattanooga and the surrounding Tennessee Valley how to support and celebrate adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities. October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and we're very glad to welcome Wayne Collins to the show. He has the great joy of working with Orange Grove every day. Nice to see you.
Thank you for having me.
You and I have been chatting a little bit before we began the conversation on air. You look at what life was like even 20 years ago in the scope of employing somebody with a disability versus today. It's night and day.
It is, and we've been fortunate to see a lot of progress. Orange Grove celebrating 70 years in the Chattanooga community, and we've been proud to push forward the conversation. We've been proud to push forward the innovation curve and how you not only serve and support, but how you even view and the framework of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
What does it look like these days? Because I'm probably not in the minority here. I remember when there was a time when Orange Grove had a partnership with the city for recycling. Do you remember those days?
I sure do.
And I used to go, and it was great because you could talk to the people.
Yep. And you totally can still do that.
Do you still do that?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we do have a terrific partnership with the city of Chattanooga that's been going for gosh, 25 years at least. Where we actually manage the 5 recycling centers and 3 refuse centers, and this is an avenue of employment for people that we support. So yes, you can totally go to Brainerd Road and see that.
I don't know why I thought that went away for a while,
Well,
but I'm glad it did not.
Right, now we did have an on-campus recycling program, on campus being our Derby Street campus.
Maybe that's what I'm
That
thinking.
changed, right.
Okay.
But still, our partnership with the city is still thriving, and we are fortunate to employ about 40 people.
So let's
that
talk
way.
about what it looks like when you employ somebody. The new buzzword in corporate America now is neurodiversity, right?
Sure. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, the DEI program. Plenty of companies are out there doing that, and those are fantastic. What we at Orange Grove are saying, if you have this program, this type of program in your company, you need to look at people with disabilities. Where do they fit in with that equation?
Right.
And that can be people with a physical disability or an intellectual disability like we do.
So in part of our conversation, you were sharing a few things with me. I won't make you get in the weeds with this at all. But the fact that we are so blessed, truly, in Chattanooga to have the Orange Grove Center, other cities, even as big as Atlanta, don't have what we have here.
I think Chattanooga is uniquely fortunate. Now, I've only been there 5 years, but I did not know the complexity of what Orange Grove actually does here. And the secret sauce, if you will, for Orange Grove is comprehensiveness. We still are, we started as a school, and we still have a school. We do support 38 right now, children in our school.
What ages?
They run from, I think our youngest one may be 12, 10 or 12, and then we run up to age 22.
Okay.
So we do have partnerships with Hamilton County school system and several outlying counties to where we do host children there. From there, you can go into any type of resident or like a residential service. We have 65 group homes in the Chattanooga area. Did not know if you knew that or not.
No, go further with that. Do you mean that those group homes allow people who have a disability to live independently?
Correct. Now they have support that is provided by Orange Grove and their staff, but they live as independently as possible within the homes. They learn independent living skills this way, and this is also a launching pad for them to be involved in community. What we're about ultimately is community inclusion. We want people to be out in the community with everybody.
So something you had shared with me, you said that a magic number is 22 years old. Because at 22 things begin to shift for both the individual person and their families.
Yes.
So parents, I think what's happened in those 20 years we mentioned earlier is parents have found a way to be a lot more vocal and being advocates for their children.
Sure, and that's critical. Involved and engaged families are, I think you generally always see better outcomes in that situation.
So where there is a possibility for their child to live independently, they want that. But the child does too. The adult child also thrives on that.
Yes, everybody is the same when you get right down to it. So we all have the same wants, needs, hopes, desires, dreams. It's just, I've always said that some people just need a little more help reaching those than others.
Right.
And that's at Orange Grove, that's what we do. We support people and help them live their best life so they can achieve and do what they want to do.
What if you're watching this morning, Wayne, and you've got a desire within your business to employ somebody from Orange Grove, but you don't know where to start?
Well,
can they come to you?
Okay. Well, first of all, go to the website. So orangegrovecenter.org. You can go to orangegrovecenter.org/work first. No, employment first, sorry about that, and start from there. That'll explain what our employment program is about. We do work with many companies around town, and I'll name drop here. Komatsu is one of them, Chattanooga Bakery. These are longtime partners that we've been at Memorial Hospital. Zaxby's, I mean, I could go on. There are many that we work with. Currently, we have about 70 or so people who are employed in the community. That number was much higher before the pandemic, but we're coming back, and more companies are opening their doors now for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Do
you find that when those companies come to you initially, they end up coming back to you saying, "Give us more, give us more"?
Sometimes that does happen. We do have. And we can to an extent, whatever resources we have available, the folks we have available who want to work, we do like to do as much as we can with that. It does depend. I mean, we have small group employment. Our gold standard is supported independent employment. So in other words, you're out and you're working, you are on the company payroll just like everybody else. Now you may need support of some sort, and sometimes that could be a job coach who might be with you all the time, or you may not need people with you all the time. We just check in with you once a month. If
you're watching and you're a family with a child with a disability, how do they become part of Orange Grove?
Well, you first, well, give us a call. You'll see the phone number, and we'll certainly talk with you about that. A lot of folks these days will start with state funding. So you would start with the state Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities and talk with them about Employment and Communities First waiver funding. Okay. And then you go from there. Once you are in that program, then you will then you're the person would have a money to spend on the types of services that they think they need.
In other words, the state kind of funds this for the individual. It's not coming out of their own family's pocket unless they want to add to.
Sure. Now, and some families do pay out of their pocket. Okay. That's also an option.
So by day, when folks come to you, because you mentioned the school, but see, here goes my misconception again. I always thought Orange Grove was primarily for adults. But I'm wrong.
Well, it started as a school, 1953, and at its zenith, I guess, we had probably 450 kids that would be on campus, and they would operate like a school. Now things have changed in the education system. It's about mainstreaming and inclusion in regular classrooms, and that's fine. Yet we still maintain a niche to where we do offer services for children in our school program. From there, the critical thing is thinking about your transition to adulthood. What do you want to do? Now, Tennessee is as an employment first state, it's called. We think and Orange Grove thinks everybody can work. Whatever your ability is, you can work with anybody, and any company who has a need, any person who has a desire to figure out what skills and what talents and what interests they have in order for them to achieve employment. So that's a great place to start. That's the place we think everybody needs to start. Now from there you can go into community work. We offer a host of volunteer services, work with a number of organizations for that, and of course we have a very large residential program. So lots of ways to go. And
thank goodness they have a very good website for you to check out. So he mentioned that we'll give you the phone number. There it is, 629-1451. orangegrovecenter.org. They have been here for 70 years. Just a few families in Chattanooga years ago, because of their own children's needs, began Orange Grove, and in a typical Chattanooga fashion, it has grown and flourished and really is a model for folks across the country on what can happen with that comprehensive care. That's your key word.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the education.
Thank you for having me.
Julia, what are you doing? We have a commercial to film.
I'm taking a break.
Breaks are what we're telling people about. Budget break.